Hey, I'm April Fox. This is Deep Dark Yoga. I'm gonna play some doom metal, rock out, do some pretty gentle stretching and moving the body. Should be pretty relaxing. Generally just make you feel really damn good. Just grab some space, some comfy clothes, come hang out. If you want to do this live, we do it on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, West Coast, US time, so there's info all about that down there. You can also find some info about other videos that we've done, other things that we do live, and make sure to like and subscribe because this video is really cool, and then more awesome rad people like yourself can find us. Welcome. I'm gonna work into some foldy stuff. I don't even really know. I kind of had some ideas and I feel like we might play a lot today. Probably hit all the things. I was walking with Alex earlier. He was taking pictures of things and we were talking about the process. Like my partner's learning photography right now. He's kind of self-teaching, just kind of exploring, and he was talking about how often he takes pictures of things, and it's like it doesn't really turn out to be anything, and how much that really doesn't matter because it's about the process is what's really interesting. And he said there's this Anthony Bourdain quote, "Nobody takes the train to Mecca." Like these really pivotal, important journeys are about the steps that we take in every moment that we're deep in them. And one of my teachers describes it like this. She's like, imagine that you're gonna go on a cruise and it departs from Seattle and you're supposed to be back in Seattle at the end of your cruise 8 days later, and everybody gets on the boat and the captain's like, hey, thank you all for coming on this 8-day cruise. But since we're just gonna end up here anyway, let's just skip the whole journey and all of y'all get off the boat and go back to your lives. Thank you for paying for this cruise. We're just gonna like not do it. And like that's silly and that's funny, right? But sometimes we do that about things we want to invest in when we want to kind of accelerate towards the end. We're like, I just want to be good at playing this instrument, or I just want to be good at this yoga thing, or I just want to be good at this human thing, which I don't really think we can get to that point. But the idea that the reason that we're here, we're having these experiences, is because the experiences, not the end goal. And yeah, maybe if I keep like coming to a yoga practice regularly, I'll find that it's easier for me to do forward folds or to feel a little bit more at ease in my body. And if that doesn't happen the first time we do it, or the 72nd time that we do it, then that doesn't mean that we're not having a valuable experience. That I'm here for this path. Where the path takes me is hopefully really cool too, but I'm on the path. And the path is what's most important. Shut up. Let's do some yoga. Index finger and thumb together. Take the squishy spot at the bottom of your thumb and bring it to the center of your forehead and brush outwards towards the temples a few times. And then brushing from the sides of your nose out to your temples along your cheekbones. Temples down to your chin along the jawline. The sides of the nose down to the chin along your laugh lines. And then massaging with the fingertips underneath and behind your ears. Lifting and lengthening through the spine and resting your hands down somewhere that's comfortable to you. Taking some long, deep breaths. Checking in with this moment, with how you're feeling at this point along your path. Recognizing that the sensations that we're experiencing, the place that the body is in right now, is a part of that path, and it's not in any way wasted. Maybe we'll change it, we'll move down the path a little further or in a different direction while we're here. The next time you take A breath in, let the exhale out through your mouth. Again, like that. For 3 ohms. Keep your eyes closed. We're going to start to move the head in comfortable circles. On my body, that's half circles. I don't feel great about turning my head to look upwards, so I prefer to kind of roll through about a half circle and then maybe spend some time just relaxing my head back for a moment. But if you like full head circles, go ahead and take a few rounds in each direction, and then we'll start settling ourselves back here in the center. Like I said, I'm just gonna do a little tilt back because complete range of motion, yes? It just feels better to me than doing the full thing. Anyway, do what makes sense with your body. Glad you made it back. Hope the connection's better here. Go ahead and send one leg out to the side. You can mirror me if you like, and lift your toes. You'll notice if you relax your toes, it's easier to slouch. If you lift the toes, it's easier to sit up a little taller. And then we'll send the arms up. And then take a side bend over towards that leg. And I like to relax the arm forward just a little bit. Still keeping the heart open towards this side. I'm trying to reach these fingertips up, more than just trying to fold down into my leg. Take a big breath in and out. And then you're gonna set that hand that you've been reaching down about a foot away from your hip and reach the other arm up. This is a great place to stay if you don't want to come onto this knee, but you could also push into that opposite hand. And you're gonna lift your hips off the ground. Take a breath in. And then we'll lower down and reach over that extended leg. And then keep going from the lift of the hips to the hips on the ground and a side bend. Just 2 more like that. And then go back into the side bend. Take yourself out of it, bring both feet forward and together, so you've got like a diamond shape with your legs, and make some circles around through your torso, kind of rocking from hip to hip. And you'll notice one hip is going to feel a little different, most likely. And then go a few times in the other direction. And then when you feel evenly stirred, move all of the hand weights from working out this morning, and then take the other leg out to the other side. Oh, apparently that hamstring is tighter. So I am lifting my toes, even though you can't see them there. And then we're gonna take the arms up, and then go up and over, and the side bend towards that leg. And I like the arm just a little further forward, because if it's back here, my shoulder's crunchy. If it's a little further forward, it just feels a little easier in my shoulder. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Excuse me. And then lifting up, go ahead and put this hand down about a foot away from your hip, and you can leave the hip on the ground, or as you reach up, you push down into that back hand so the hips lift up and forward. And on your exhale, you bring the hips back down, and then side bend up and over that leg. You could go up and over like this, or you could swing the arms forward. Just kind of doing what makes sense for you. I think one more. I'm bad at counting. And then lift yourself up. And bring feet together in front of you, making that diamond shape. And again, move around in some circles of your torso, kind of rocking side to side. And make sure you take the circles in the other direction. And then we'll move from a seat into a child's pose. I've been sitting up on a little cushion. I forgot to mention that. If you ever want to sit on things instead of on the floor, it's often much more comfortable. We're going to take toes towards each other and knees apart. Stop the dog from eating a tiny little felt foot and rest the hips back. Just go ahead and crawl your arms out in front of you. We want to find some length in the spine. At some point, your fingers aren't going to get any further forward, and that's fine. You can just relax once you get there. Rest your head down on the floor. I can't really talk to you if I do, so. Just take some deep breaths. Feeling the opening through the backs of your ribs. One more exhale. And then start to pull yourself up to your hands and knees. So you want knees under your hips, hands underneath your shoulders, and start moving some cat and cow. Just a couple of up and down, of arching, looking upward, of rounding through the spine as you exhale. Two more. Relaxing the spine to a more neutral space. We're going to slide the right toes back with them curled under on the floor and take some rocking back and forth to stretch the foot and stretch the calf. Then flip the foot over and try to rest on the toenail side of the foot and just relax the leg. Just let it become weighted for a moment. And pull the right knee back in. We're going to flip the right hand over gently without putting much weight onto it. And then put the right hand back how it generally goes and flip the left hand over. Not much weight on it, just a little release to the wrist. And then flip it over and slide the left leg back behind you, toes tucked under for a moment as you take a few shifts back and forth. We'll flip the foot over so you're resting on the top of the foot, the toenail side of the foot. Rest the leg, just let it be heavy. It doesn't need to look like anything. We just want to stretch the top of the ankle, the top of the foot. Slide that knee back in, come up to fingertips for a moment so you're off of your wrists. You might stay on fingertips and work with taking a few breaths, or you can make fists to push down into the floor. Shouldn't feel like much work, but it's a good place to go to build some bone density in your wrists without making them super angry. Keep pushing down into your fists. Take 2 more breaths. Go back to fingertips or palms if you need to. And then release the fists to the fingertips wherever you happen to be. We'll take the right foot and bring it forward outside of the right thigh or the right hand. So I've got my hips a little further forward than my back knee. What tends to happen when we're stuck here is that we can't really go anywhere. So if I'm really close, it does feel like I'm trapped. And we tend to be really close. So try to go a little further forward with that foot than your instinct or your first place was. And then you're going to start to crawl the hands forward, and you might come up to fingertips here. Or just let the hands rest. They don't have to go very far forward. Relax your upper body, your neck, your shoulders. And then bring your hands back in underneath your shoulders and start to lift your heart up and forward, and maybe your hips and your knee go forward just a little bit more. And right now your right foot is up by the front of your mat, and you're gonna move it back to the back of your mat. And you're gonna swing the left foot back, so it's no longer pointing towards your right foot, but it's back behind you. And then you're gonna lift up until you're in a really big side bend. Stretching long through the right side. Take another breath in. And then reach the arm all the way up. All the way back as far as it's gonna go. And continue the circle until you come back to your hands and knees. You just pull everything back where it was in that table pose. And then we'll take the left foot and bring it outside of the left hand. And then knowing that we tend to start off kind of short, can you scooch the foot forward just a bit more? And then start to walk your hands forward a bit. Notice my knees and my hips didn't move. I was here and now I'm here. I didn't go like forward like this. So kind of letting the hips relax and stretch. Just moving my upper body down and forward. Take another long, deep breath here. And start to walk the hands back in so they're underneath your shoulders and lift a little through your heart. The sensation's just a little different. You're gonna take that left foot, it's at the front of your mat. Now you're gonna bring it all the way to the back of your mat. And then turn your right toes out to the right. And we're gonna lift up and side bend to feel this long stretch all the way from the pinky finger of the left hand all the way down through the pinky finger of the left foot, or the pinky toe of the left foot. If your hips are pushed back, you're not going to feel this. So see what you can do. Maybe you scooch the right hand forward or in to lift the hips up. And then we're going to take the big circle of the arm, it goes back. Stretch the chest. And then take both hands down. Coming back to your hands and knees. And we'll sit back again in a child's pose. If this doesn't feel good on your knees, just lay forward like this, but still reach your arms out in front of you. Hi, baby. Okay, I'll move you to your nap. There's a dog over there, staring judgmentally at me as usual. So big crawled out arms. One more exhale. And then start to pull back up to hands and knees. We're going to be on the knees a little bit today. So if you start to feel like you don't want to be on your knees as much and you want to take the back leg up, by all means, I'm going to pad up your knees a little bit. Please just go ahead and do that. We're going to take the right foot forward and then lift the arms up. And then knowing that we tend to start off kind of short, maybe you get a little scooch. And then we're going to interlace the fingers and turn the palms to face up. And kind of press up into that slightly in front of your head space. On your exhale, you're going to round your upper back and take the hands down in front of your heart. And then inhale, lift the hands back up. And exhale, round the upper back. And stretching the backs of the shoulders. One more, inhale up. Exhale, round it back, round the back. And take the hands up and bring them back behind your head. Let your elbows open. Notice the tendency you have to shift the hips back, and then let this just be a reminder that we want to move the hips forward a bit. Try to relax the shoulders. One more exhale. And then bring the hands down. You can always grab some blocks for underneath your hands. We're going to straight-ish the front leg. It's just that longer back of the leg. Maybe it's really straight, maybe it's just not as bent. And then gently, after the first couple of breaths where you've got a little bit more space, maybe you start to look forward and lift your heart up just a little bit more. One more exhale. And pull your right leg back, and you're going to come all the way down onto your belly. Reach your arms back behind you. The bind is optional. I like the bind because it opens the shoulders more. Some folks do not like holding their hands together behind their back, in which case you can grab onto a strap or just stretch your fingertips out on your own. We're going to lift up for a couple of a locust pose, lifting the heart and the feet off the floor. Take a breath in. And then lower down, relax. 2 more, inhale up. And lower, 1 more time, inhale. And lower, release the hands if you had them bound, bring them back below your shoulders. Lift your hips up a little bit to make it a little harder if you want, and then push yourself back up and find your table pose. From there, we'll take the left foot forward and take the arms up in the air. And before we do this one, let's relax the shoulders, taking a big circle, reaching them back and then up, and then interlace the fingers. Push the hands up just slightly up in front of your head. And on your exhale, round through the upper back, drop the hands down. Inhale, hands come up. Exhale, rounding the upper back. Inhale, take them up. Exhale, bring them forward. And then bring the hands up, take them back behind your head. Lean forward a little bit in the hips if you can. Let your head rest back. Lift the belly button up towards your heart. Relax your neck muscles. Trust that your head will stay attached. Thank goodness I don't have to do much to keep that happening. 1 more exhale. And then hands down. Down kind of by your foot. Sometimes I wiggle the foot forward a little more to give me more space, and then we straightish the leg. And start off as relaxed as you can manage about doing a hamstring stretch, which I know is everybody's favorite. I'm just kidding. I think most people are like, why are my hammies so tight? That's just how it's what being human does, is tighten hamstrings. I'm real good at that. I'd like to be better at loosening my hamstrings, but again, that's part of the practice. One more exhale. And then you're going to pull that left leg back and lower yourself down onto your belly again. We're going to do 3 more of those locusts. You might choose this time to bind when you didn't last time, or this time not to bind when you did last time. Let's take 3, lifting the heart and the feet. And then lower, inhale, lift up, pull those knuckles back, and lower, 1 more time, and down, and then just rest your head on your hands, give yourself a moment, maybe you shift your hips side to side a few times. The dog's just staring at me, she's like inches from my face, she's like, what are you doing? The same thing I do every week. Why is this a surprise? You could lay anywhere in the house. Okay, thank you. Okay. So this next one, we are going to go back up on the knees again for 1 more little series. I'm going to face towards you. If you're like, oh my God, no more knees, please, then you're just going to sit and put your leg out to the side. And it does most of the same things. It will be very similar. If you are here with me, you just take the leg out to the side. And then we're just going to walk the hands forward. You just fold yourself down, heart moving forward. walking your hands back in. We're gonna come to stand up on the bottom knee. You can keep both hips on the floor and just do this same sort of thing. We're gonna turn the toes up, flex the foot so the legs engaged, helping to turn on the muscles, lift the spine. And then you're gonna put this hand at this hip and reach this arm up. And then you're gonna miss out on this if you let the hips drop back. So what we wanna do is lift the hips up and forward. And I'm reaching out through that hand rather than trying to fold myself sideways in half. One more breath in. One more breath out. And then go ahead and take your hands down. And we're gonna switch legs. So you'll take this one in, take that one out. I'm just leaving the toes down for this first one where I walk the hands forward. I stay here, or maybe come down to elbows, maybe fold down a little bit more. Start to walk your hands back in, come to stand yourself up. Make sure your hips aren't hanging out behind you. You want to be able to lift them forward. We're going to turn the knee and the toe up, bring one hand to the hip and the other arm up. So I'm lifting long. I'm feeling the stretch all the way from my fingertips down through the side of my thigh, that supporting leg. And one more exhale. And then coming out. And then come to a seat. So if you are already on your bum, just stay there. You can sit back like this, or you want to swing your legs out in front of you. Any of that is all good. We're going to take hands, make fists, and make circles with the fists. And then reverse the circles. Spread your fingers out and curl the fingers into the wrist. And spread them out and curl them in just a few times. Spread and curl, spread and curl, spread and curl, and then shake. And reach your hands up and forward like you're going to play London Bridge with somebody, but you're like the strongest participant in London Bridge in the history of playing the childhood game that I barely remember the rules of. I kind of do. We should play it sometime. I'll figure that out. Okay, one more breath in and out. And then come to a downward dog. So you're going to put your hands down, curl your toes under, lift up, and push down into the floor with all of that London Bridge kind of energy, spreading those fingers out. Make sure you're not trying to stand on high heels. Just relax those heels down. You may absolutely bend your knees still. One more exhale. And then gently lower your knees down to the floor. Keep your toes curled under and push your hips back towards your feet just a little bit. And then we're going to go back up to downward dog and notice if it feels any different. Strong arms. And gently, slowly lower the knees down and push your hips back towards your heels. And then we'll go up one more time. Downward dog. Knees can be bent. Heels are heavy. They don't have to go to the floor, but they're heavy. And roll the tailbone so it points a little more up towards the ceiling. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And then bring your feet towards your hands and your hands back to your feet and find a forward fold and probably bend your knees a whole heck of a lot. Start to stand yourself up, reach your fingertips up, and bring your hands in to your heart. We're going to take the legs out real wide here with toes forward and come down into a forward fold. You might let knees bend. You might take a little shifting from side to side. Give yourself another 2 breaths. slowly to stand yourself up. You're gonna turn the toes over towards the right, bend into the right leg, take your arms open. And then without lowering your hands, push down into them. Feel a little stronger in your arms. Push down into your feet. Maybe you feel taller through your spine. Try to soften around your collarbones, looking out over the right fingertips. And keeping your legs really sturdy, really strong, reach forward through the right fingertips and then bring that elbow down to your thigh and find that long stretch through your left side. If your hips are going back, you're gonna miss it. So if you bring your hips a little further forward, open that front knee. One more exhale. Lift yourself up. We're going to straighten the leg, take the hands to the hips, and make sure that instead of the hips facing out towards that wide side, they face out to the corner a little more. And then reach the right arm out and take it down onto your shin or a block or something. And we'll open the heart up, reaching the shoulder open towards the ceiling. One more exhale. And start to stand yourself up and switch your feet. So you've got, make sure that those right toes turn in a little bit too. And then bend the left leg. Open the arms. Push down into the hands without moving them down. Push down into your feet to feel the spine get taller. Relax at your collarbones. Because sometimes it becomes this, right? And that just doesn't feel great. So, and I can still be strong there. Looking out over the left fingertips. And then reach. Strong legs. Keep those legs steady. Reach out until your elbow comes down. The right arm comes up. And then if you don't feel a lot, watch that your hips haven't snuck back. We want to bring them forward. Exhale. And come on up. We're going to straighten the leg. Make sure that the hips face more out towards the corner. And then reach out through the left hand until taking it down somewhere that feels reasonable, somewhere I can breathe. Remembering that whole, a triangle is not a thing with its hand on the ground. That's not what a triangle is. A triangle is a series of long lines and straight lines and angles, curves, not angriness about trying to get our hand on the ground. I don't think triangles are usually angry. I mean, I guess it depends on the triangle. Everybody has their days. And pushing down into your feet, stand yourself up, and then go ahead and bring your feet in underneath your hips. And take your arms down, just let the palms gently rotate forward. And take a couple bounces. And try to find the most relaxed standing you could be in. Not really working on much of anything here. And you're okay, I'm trying to stand up straight because I'm doing a yoga practice. I think that's what I'm supposed to do, but notice how that feels. And then push down real strongly into your feet. You feel yourself standing a little taller. And relax the feet again, maybe bounce a few times. And then try to relax and lift your arms up, which feels weird. And then push down into the feet, reach the arms up, which is why I say that, because it feels so much better, yeah? And then forward fold, but since we have tender hamstrings and backs, let's go ahead and relax the legs when we come into that forward fold. So we're just a little bit more elastic. Not everything needs to be extended and strong. You can be more elastic, more soft. Stand all the way up with those arms. Bring your hands down to your heart. And you're going to step 1 foot forward. As you do, make sure that you still have some width between your legs, because if you end up here, it's going to make stuff real hard. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Let's say maybe right foot forward. I don't know. You do you. Take your arms forward for up. Then we reach forward, belly towards the thigh, reach the arms back and up. And 2 more. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Change the direction of the circles, reach them back, and then down and forward, back, exhale, as you go down, then come up and forward, inhale. 1 more, down and back, and up. And then bring your hands to your hips and make the front leg really straight. Relax your feet. That feels a little odd. And then push down into your feet, feeling a little stronger. And knowing that's going to make our hamstrings a little tighter to have really straight legs. So we're going to not worry about getting super far forward. You're just going to keep legs real strong so they keep holding you up as you work the heart forward and breathe into the sensations that come up. Even if the shape doesn't look like what you want, are you getting a hamstring stretch? Great, you're doing a great job. 1 more exhale. And then stand yourself up, switch sides. Take the other foot forward. Make sure as you take the other foot back that you're not crossing one leg in front of the other. You want it to be wide. We'll take the arms up. And then reach forward and down and back and up. Maybe the exhale takes you down and the inhale takes you up. 1 more. And then it goes back and down. I don't know why I forgot. There's 2 options. I'm like, what was the other one? I don't know. Okay, good job, team. And then you're gonna bring your hands to your hips and we're gonna straighten the front leg. Strong in the legs, feeling that length come into your spine. And then moving the heart forward. Whee. One more exhale. And then, no thank you, standing up, bringing the feet forward. Shh, quiet. Thank you. Take the arms up. Hold on to your right wrist, take a little side bend to the left, push a little more into your right foot. Then come up and side bend over to the right, push more into your left foot, hold on to that left wrist, let out an exhale. Come back up to the center, widen your feet so they're a little wider than your hips, come down into a fold. Try for straight legs for a moment, even if that means you're here. And then as you relax, bend the knees, let yourself fold into whatever degree you are finding available in your body. And then planting your hands down, you're gonna walk your feet back to a kind of wider down dog than you usually do. You might have your feet a little closer to the center of your mat normally, but now they're maybe about as wide as your mat or a little wider than your hips. And then walk the feet in a little closer, gently lower your knees, come down to a seat. Swing the legs out in front of you. Hair is weird. Okay, so relax. Relax your feet, let it bounce. And then try to sit up without your feet being engaged. And then flex the feet and you feel just that extra lift. So we're gonna try to keep feet flexed while we twist. It's gonna help us keep the spine up. You're gonna take the right leg in. If you wanna leave it here, you can. If you wanna cross it over, you can. That is all up to you, but we'll leave those left toes lifted as you hug the right knee. Keep your spine tall and twist over towards the right side. Relaxing your belly. One more exhale. Relaxing that twist, send your right leg forward, make sure to lift those toes. So bring the left leg in, leave it here or cross it over. whichever feels better to you, not whichever you think is like the better yogi thing. I was teaching at a big studio once. There was a woman, and she was much older, and she had just come to yoga, like, well, it was like her first year. And she comes up to me and a couple other teachers, and one day she's like, how long do you think I have to do this before I stop feeling like I want to come into child's pose randomly? Let out an exhale. And I was like, I think the fact that you just honored the fact that you want to come to child's pose randomly during practice after like only doing this for like a year, that's amazing. Like, that's the most advanced thing, is just choosing the thing that makes sense to your body, honoring the wanting of rest. Oh, I wish I had learned to honor the wanting of rest a lot earlier in my life. Anyway, my legs. So that's like, do I cross my leg when I twist, or do I not cross my leg when I twist? What feels better? And then maybe sometimes it's just an experiment that day. We're gonna twist. I'm gonna take toes are lifted. Fingertips are just gonna go where it makes sense. So it doesn't have to go all the way back. Maybe it's just like here. And then we're gonna lift and then relax. My elbows I have really long arms, so you might find yourself bending your elbows or not. I'm gonna twist over towards that right side. And then instead of having the left hand in front of you, you're gonna take it over towards the right leg, and then don't follow with your hip. Try to keep the hip down. One more exhale. Then you're gonna take the back hand and lift it up. I'm not gonna go very far into my side bend, but there's a bit of it. I'm so excited that the trees are doing stuff. My nose is not. Okay, and then come out. And starting really vertical. Left, right hand in front, left hand just back where it makes sense to you. I feel like my music keeps stopping. No, it is. Okay, that's good. And then lift and twist over towards the right side. The left side, sorry, that's your left. After a few breaths, a hand goes over to the leg. Oh, a little deeper. One more exhale. Then take that back arm and lift it up. Side bend. Oh, got more space on this side somehow. One more breath. And then come up and start with the hands back behind you. So we're gonna roll the heart up and forward. And what we wanna do is kind of tilt the pelvis forward. So if that means you stay here and that feels good to you, you can. If you start to feel it, you can bring your hands forward as long as your hips don't start to roll back. You go as far forward as you want to. Some of us in the world are getting closer to warm hamstring season, especially today in Portland. I figure maybe we'll play with that a little bit. One more exhale. Then come on up. You're gonna bring your legs closer together. You're gonna hug onto your knees. Now, if you are feeling tender in your back, I want you to just kind of round or maybe round forward. If you feel okay in your spine and you can rock up and down a few times, you can do that. And then come on up. You're gonna take your hands back and bring your right ankle to your left knee. I've got my hands back quite a bit, so it's a little easier for me to roll my shoulders back, lift my heart up. Hello, sir. Handsome devil. Lifting your heart up towards your shin. And then exhale, you're gonna start to slide the bottom leg forward. Instead of this ankle being on top of the knee, we're gonna move the foot to the inside of the knee and then come into a one leg forward fold. So it looks like this. Yeah. And maybe that means you grab your calf. Sometimes bending the knee lets us get the belly closer to the thigh. More exhale. Relax the foot if you haven't already. And start to lift yourself up. You're gonna have that right knee up now. You're gonna put the left ankle on the right knee. Lift the heart up and forward towards your shin. The closer your hands and your bottom foot are to your hips, the more intense this is gonna be. So if you're like having a muy caliente experience, maybe like move things a little further away and find some breath. One more exhale. Go ahead and slide the leg out. You're gonna move the leg from the top to the inside. And sometimes like wiggle that leg a little further forward. Folded, maybe you bend the knee, maybe you're really deeply folded, maybe you didn't get very far, you're still feeling a big stretch, and you just breathe into where you're at. Great job, everybody. One more exhale. If you haven't relaxed the foot, go ahead and do that. And then come up, and then both feet go together, knees are out wide. You can take the feet a little further away, maybe, and then start to fold yourself forward. So some of us won't make it very far forward. Some of us feel more like this happens, and if that happens, try to lift a little long and focus on that rather than how far forward you get down, rolling your spine, you know? Because like this is not getting my belly closer to my thighs and folding my hips are tilted back here. So that's more developed of a fold, really. And maybe you go further. And then come out of that fold, we're gonna change the fold. What you might do is just bend knees and then hold onto your legs and rest forward. What you might do is find that your legs get longer. Let's relax the feet here just to be more soft on the hamstrings. We know we press into the feet, we have all this lift. We relax the feet and things soften. Exhale. And start to peel yourself out of the fold. Take yourself down onto your back, knees bent, feet on the floor. And take a moment to relax, changing your energy, letting the fluid settle down. A lot of fluids inside of you. Gravity doth affect them much. Where are you? Okay, there you are. And then stretch your arms back by the sides of your head. Maybe you pet a cat or a dog. And if it feels okay, try grabbing opposite elbows. If that doesn't feel okay, then back to the arms stretching back in a way that does feel more comfortable to you. And you'll want your feet to be wider than your hips here, so maybe about as wide as your mat. And then leaving the legs separate, we drop the knees to the right, feeling a stretch along the front of the left thigh. Softening the shoulders, the elbows gently pull just a little further away. Breath out. And bringing your knees back up, and we'll take them over towards the other side. So now it's the front of that right thigh. Still trying to gently pull the elbows away, somehow while still keeping the shoulders relaxed. Back to the center, release your arms, bring your knees into your chest. Take a moment to rock from side to side and massage your back into the floor. And open your arms out. Maybe a cactus shape, maybe arms to a T. See what seems best for you, and then drop the knees over to the right side. Softening your belly, working to relax the right shoulder, letting the body be heavy, finding softness in the muscles of your face. One more deep breath out. And start to move your knees over towards the other side. You might need to adjust your shoulders a bit. I often find that is the case. And then starting to settle in, relax the legs, the arms, the belly, the face. We also begin to relax the breath, letting that depth subside, just starting to allow the breath to flow with less attention. And that more advanced space of allowing ourselves to rest. Much of my life, nap time has been more of an advanced practice than handstands and shit like that. So, one more exhale. And coming back to your back to center. Maybe just let the knees rest against each other for a moment. Check in with your body, how you're feeling. If you'd like to continue resting on your back like this or with legs extended, maybe you want to go legs up the wall. Actually, I'm feeling that today. You're welcome to take a seat. Maybe rest your back up against the wall. You gotta scooch your butt real close to the wall or to the couch if you're just gonna fling your legs up on the couch. But we'll just spend a couple of minutes resting like this before we wrap up practice together.
start to come back to your body, wiggling fingers and toes and things that help you to feel more alert. Taking some deeper breaths. Eventually drawing your knees towards your chest, turning over to one side. You take a moment here for gratitude for your practice and being able to share this time together. And when you're ready, finding your own comfortable seat, which means sitting how it makes sense to you, not just because I'm doing a thing. And we'll seal practice, releasing one more Om together. Down to honor the love, the light, and the darkness that resides within each of us. Thanks, Browns. Have good days. Enjoy the sun. I hope it's sunny where you are, Lisa.
Thank you. The sun is so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
So good.
Ready?
Bye. Pet the babies for us. We miss them.